Data analysis is what? It's a subset. You're going to be more specialized. In other words, you don't have to know every cloud platform out there. You just need to know AWS or Google. That's my sort of comparison. So with data science, you're going to be really good, for example, at maybe, for example, statistical analysis. Or you're going to be really good, for example, where you might work for, let's say, the Mortgage Bankers Association, where their data analysts always look at mortgage data, and they collect data from different sources, and they put together basically reports that they publish or sell. That's your data analyst. However, you still need to have math experience, data wrangling. We have to extract value. We don't have to figure out how to get the data. In other words, we probably have the sources. We just have to figure out how to get data, and we need to visualize that data. What about the skills for data science and data analytics? Again, these are just some of the common skills that are commonly needed. And you see some of these come up, Python, R, over and over. So let's talk about a nice example you can go look at. Now, when it comes to data experts, if you go to Stack Overflow, this is a developer community. Python is currently listed usually number 1 or 2 as the most wanted skill sets. So if you're a Python developer, you probably won't be unemployed, or you shouldn't be anyways. There's a lot of demand. And JavaScript, Go, so on and so on. So I would encourage you to go to Stack Overflow and look at, again, the most wanted or most loved, and the title of the article is here. And they update this graph pretty routinely. So there's no question the demand for data science requirements is there. Now Python, again, as I had stated, Python from a different survey, same thing, the fastest growing language. According to Indeed, another source, it's the most demanding programming language in the USA market, with over 74,000 jobs available in January. So that's part of that requirement. So if you get into data science, you have to learn Python. It's just a fact. So just be aware this is something you have to learn. Okay, the average salary is about $120,000 if you're a good Python programmer. Okay, let's see. We have a few more slides. I'm going to break for a little demo here and walk you through some data sets and give you an idea of what you might be doing full time if that's what you want to do. Okay, when it comes to data science and the demand for professionals, there's a lot of great content out there. There is so many. I just quoted pretty much just a few. So the demand for data science is clearly growing, and it's all about data-driven insight. And what does this mean? Well, companies, they need to be able to look at data and understand it. Companies are really great at collecting data, and they collect everything. They save everything, but they're still not really good at getting value out of the data. And this is where you come in. You come into the company and you get started and you start sifting through different data sources and say, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I could find a pattern that might solve a problem for the company. Or the company hires you and says, here's a problem we're having. Can you look at the data sources and give us a solution or provide data, visualize that data? That's what this is all about. Now, Indeed showed a 29% increase in demand for data scientists year over year. Since 2013, there's been over 344% growth in that area. So a lot there, no question about it. When it comes to demand, it is even higher for professionals that have value experience. In other words, you've already been solving problems. Okay, can someone please put their thumbs on mute, please? Let's see here. Getting a lot of echo. Let me see. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm getting an echo. I'm not sure who it is, but okay. I think that solved the problem. All right. Now, as far as wages and, what can we expect? Now, I'm going to be honest. The salaries for starting data experts isn't exactly, great. I mean, compared to some other parts of IT. However, it's still good. So, for example, according to Glassdoor, it's about $95,000. Now, generally, the starting salaries are actually in the low 60s from what I'm seeing. But again, you're just getting out of school, you're learning, that's not a bad start, right? Now, there's a lot of different titles. I'm going to be honest. When it comes to data science, data engineers, qualitative analysis, or qualitative analyst, or data analyst, those are some of the terms that we see typically that are still in the data science area. But maybe when you look at qualitative analyst, you're like, well, what does that mean? Well, that's a data scientist. You need to look at the numbers and how to take the numbers and actually correlate them to solve a problem. For example, in the world of mortgages, we have what's called mortgage-backed securities. Well, in the good old days of math, it used to be that 10 times 10 was 100. But in today's world of the financial sector, 10 times 10 is not 100. It's pretty much whatever they want to create. That's the world we live in. And when it comes to qualitative analysis, if you're working at a bank, you have to figure out if this happens and I take this variable and that variable, I have to qualitatively or quantitatively put together an assessment of what this could sell for. This is what happens, for example, in New York and London. And I spent a lot of time at Bloomberg years ago, so I know more about this than I probably would want to know. Now, when it comes to IBM, right? Now, we know IBM, one of the largest tech companies out there. They're predicting by 2020, and again, we're already in 2020, so this is an older statement, that there'll be over 364,000 openings available in data science. Now, I don't know how they came up with that number. The report didn't say it, but I'm throwing it out there because that's the number they came up with. I'm assuming that's worldwide. Also, too, 84% of enterprises have launched a data-based initiative. In other words, they want to make decisions better by using data. What a great concept, right? So companies still do a lot of their decisions off the hip, right? It's not about looking at data, it's about feelings, it's about politics generally. So you as a data professional will go into companies and put together this data initiative to help the company do what? To make better decisions and be more accurate. And that's according to LinkedIn on a study that they did. Also, another thing that was picked up from LinkedIn was that over 4,000 new data science jobs were created last year in the US alone. So what is the career path for data science? Very good question. As we know, it's a wide net. And the career path is just as wide. It just depends on what you want to get into. But there's some commonality. We need to have extensive training and degree requirements. That's just a fact. I don't see, a matter of fact, I looked through probably 30 different job roles yesterday to just double check, see if there's anything interesting. Every one required at least a bachelor's, if not most required a master's or better